Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you, Susie. Susie is the professional development coordinator at Fresno City College, and she's assisting this afternoon. My name is Sally Potter, and I am the OER faculty coordinator at Fresno City. For those of you who don't know me, I see in that we have a lot of folks from Fresno City College. And joining me in a few minutes is going to be Linda Kobashigawa. She is our OER librarian. She's also our ASCCC OER liaison. And she works together with me and our OER work group task force. She's the chair of our work group. And so she's on the reference desk this afternoon, but she'll be coming in as soon as she gets to her desk. Okay, so I'm going to get started with the slides. So this is what we have on the agenda. We wanted to focus on is just this for this talk this afternoon is just a little bit about what OER is. I know that you're here, a lot of you are here because you are already convinced that you want to use OER, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the reasons why you should use OER. I'll get into that just a little bit, but I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use OER, how to cite it, how to implement it into your classes, just a little bit. And then we'll spend the majority of the time on where to find OER. So what we're going to do is Linda and I are going to show you different sites, different repositories, and different places where you can find good quality OER for your classes, for your discipline. And then we should have just a few minutes, hopefully, if we can go fast enough, we'll have a few minutes for questions at the end. If you do have questions, what we're going to ask you to do is to go ahead and type them in the chat. And when Linda pops in here, she could probably answer some as we go. And then if we don't get them answered in the chat, then we'll save them for the end, and we'll answer them that way. Okay, let's see. There is also a list here with my my links. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's start off here with the definition of open educational resources. And so just so we're all on the same page, open educational resources are teaching, learning, and resources that reside in the public domain or release under an intellectual property license that permits their free use and repurposing by others. And they are sources that have what's called a Creative Commons license on them. And a Creative Commons is a nonprofit that's dedicated to building a globally accessible public commons of knowledge and culture. It's a license that an author can put on their work they're basically saying that they want others to be able to use the source, be able to give it to others. There are a number of different permissions that go along with it. And it works within existing copyright law. So you probably have seen these different little icons if you've looked around at openly licensed sources. And it starts at the very top in public domain. This is the most open. It means that you can do anything that you want with it. And then it goes all the way down to less open. And so I'm not going to get into the details of this. We do have another workshop that's coming up later this week on the Creative Commons licenses and licensing details. So if you're interested in learning more about this, then that's the one that you should check out. But they do have different meanings, and you can tell the meanings by the little icons here. So when you see the little by, that means that you have to put the attribution on it. It means that you just have to say the author's name. If it has the SA, that means that you have to share it under the same license. If it has the NC, that means that you cannot make money on it. And if it has the ND, that means that you cannot change it, you cannot edit it. So that's why the NDs are considered not open, because they can't be edited. And then the all rights reserved, the copyright. Okay. There is another acronym that I wanted to tell you about, and that's ZTC that we hear about. So that is zero textbook cost. Okay, so this refers not to the licensed. Some ZTC are also OER, they're also open, but not all. So some OER do have a cost, and the cost would probably be in the printing, in the paper, the ink, that kind of thing that the students would have to buy. So those two terms are not complete synonyms. ZTC, well, we'll get into that, the exact definitions a little bit later. And then we have fair use. And when we're talking about fair use, we don't really like to talk too much about that in OER circles. It's really something that doesn't really exist if you're trying to be legal, if you want to, legally use something. There's no real magic, number of pages or magic number of, percentages or anything like that. If you're trying to, be legal about your usage, you really should just stay away from trying to fall into fair use. Okay, just a warning. Okay, so what is zero textbook cost? Typically, if it's not OER and it is a ZTC, these can be materials like your library resources that students have access to, but they're not openly licensed. So those are going to be things that are found in the library. Websites that can be found free on the web that we can link to. Sometimes we can even make copies of those and say adapted from, and then materials that you write yourself. And I say write yourself, you can write these materials on your own. We're all doing this. We all do this all the time. If you're an instructor, you're writing content, you put instructions on your Canvas pages, you make handouts with content on them, you're already doing that. It's just a matter of scale. Whether you're writing a book or a chapter or a paragraph, you are writing free material for your students to some extent. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Again, I know that you're already thinking that you're going to be giving your students free materials, but this has to do with the importance of why we should think about supplying our students with OER and ZTC materials. This was from a study in 2018. And this is not only community college students, but all university students. They surveyed students, and of the students that were surveyed, 64.25% of them didn't purchase a textbook at some point in their academic career. Okay, so well over half. 42.76% took fewer courses because of the cost of higher textbooks. 40.55% did not register for specific courses because of the high cost of textbooks. 35.62% earned a poor grade because they couldn't afford the textbook. Now, And then 22.91% dropped a course because of the high cost of textbooks. Okay, so the high cost of textbooks does affect the students. It doesn't just cause them to drop out, but it actually causes them to, at many times, to earn poor grades. How does that happen? We know, when you have students in your class, a lot of times they will try to not stay in your class without buying the textbook, buy an old edition of a textbook, try to get by without the materials. And many times they will be able to pass the class with a C or a B, but they can't earn an A because they don't have full access to the materials. So that's where the poor grade comes in. Sometimes they will drop the course, they'll make it before that drop deadline, but sometimes they will not make it. They won't be able to drop the course, or they'll be stuck in the course after the drop deadline, and then they'll end up earning an F in the course. So these are things that happen many times to students. The more savvy students, not our first generation students, but students who have friends, relatives that are already in college. These are the ones that can navigate this system. The first generation students, the students who don't have access to this information, who don't have the ability to look online, buy an old edition, know that that's going to work out for them. These are the ones, our marginalized student populations, these are the ones that are affected the most. And so when they do studies on, and they disaggregate the data, time and time again, it shows that these are the populations that are affected the most. Okay, so that's what all these studies show time and time again. Okay, I just want to really quickly show you this. Now, if you're, when you look for your sources, many disciplines, you can find an off-the-shelf textbook that's complete, has a full textbook just like you would find for your commercial textbooks, but many times you cannot. Sometimes you can find a piece of a textbook here, a piece of a textbook there, maybe you have to supplement with some articles. And so thinking about how you're gonna be looking for the materials to cover the SLOs of your course, you want to do something called backwards mapping, or backward course design. And so what you want to do is start with what you want your students to learn. Okay, so this is your SLOs and the objectives of your course. And then you're going to plan your assessments based on that. Okay, and then you're going to look for the materials that give your students the information that will make them succeed on those assessments. All right, so that's where you go, and you're looking for the OER materials, the ZTC materials, perhaps in your library or online, and then you prepare the materials and deliver them to your students. So this is where, these are the steps that we're going to follow. All right. How to attribute your sources. Oh, and I forgot to change the color of this one. I think you can barely see it. Whoops. Okay, so basically it's TASL, TASL, and it stands for title, the name of the material, author, who owns the material, source, where can I find it, and license, how can I use it? Okay, so when you're attributing an openly licensed source, it's just like, oh, thank you, Linda. It's just like you are, just like when you are citing a source from any, like an MLA or APA, you want to make sure that you have this information, that you're giving this information. Okay, so this is the information that you want to make sure that you provide. And we've got this thing called the attributions, open attributions builder. And I'm gonna put that into the chat. So this is a website that works just kind of like an Easy Bib or one of those other kinds of websites where you can put the information about your source into the open attribution builder, and it will create an attribution for you. So it put all the title, the URL, the author, and all that information in, and then what comes out, it generates the attribution. You can just copy and paste it, and it'll come out looking all professional with the links and everything. Okay, so finding OER, where to look for your high quality OER. I'm going to take you through some websites and drop the links in the chat as we go. So feel free to go to the different websites as we go. I also have this document that has the full list of links on it, and I'll give you that at the very end. So you'll have the full list of links with their labels and everything. So you have all of that information all together. Okay. So the first one that we're going to talk about is the ASCCC OERI initiative website. And that is right here. This is a very highly vetted list of sources. So it's not super extensive, but the sources that you're going to find here, they're the highest quality books and resources. You also might want to check out their webinars and events. So if you're looking for something specific in a discipline, they have lots of different webinars that are archived. To check out the curated collections, you're going to go to the resources tab and then click curated collections, and then OER by discipline. And then if your discipline is there, you'll go to the discipline page, and it has a list of the different OERI. Most of them are the list of resources. Most of them were created through one of their RFPs, one of their funded projects, but some of them were just compiled by the discipline leads in the area. They're all very highly curated. So you can see, gives you the list, and then I just captured one for the English, and they're listed by CID descriptor, so you can check those out. Okay, and then the next one is Canvas Commons. And probably a lot of us know how to get to Canvas Commons. If not, this link should take you there. When you go into Canvas, you can find the Canvas Commons button on the left-hand menu, on the far left-hand navigation menu. One of the things that I'm going to make a suggestion on is to search ASCCC, and that will give you all of the ASCCC created Canvas courses that are on Canvas Commons. These are going to be real nice. You can pull them right into your Canvas course, but there are lots more. Now, you have to be careful about searching through Canvas Commons, because anybody and their uncle's brother can just throw stuff up on Canvas Commons, and they're not necessarily vetted. They're not necessarily openly licensed. They may have some kind of sketchy material here. So you really have to be careful about what you are coming across. It's kind of like if the OERI website is like this high-end boutique that has very curated and really like good fancy clothing that you can really count on is going to be highest quality. Canvas Commons is like a thrift store where you have to really search, and you're going to come across a lot of junk, but you may find a few gems in there. Okay. All right. Then we're going to get to the complete textbook repositories. And the first one that I'm going to show you is the Open Textbook Library. This is a collection of peer-reviewed textbooks spanning multiple subjects. All the textbooks are quality reviewed by faculty from a variety of institutions. And our suggestion is to browse by subject or search by subject. So hit that browse subjects orange button in the middle, and that's going to be your best bet on looking through if you can find your subject area and or something close to it. It's not a huge repository, but you can, if your subject is there, you can find something there. Okay. And then the next one is OpenStax, and this is a real popular one. A lot of people have heard of OpenStax. These are professionally written and peer-reviewed. The great thing about OpenStax is that if you do find a textbook that you like in OpenStax, they have a lot of ancillaries that, oh, thanks Linda. They have a lot of ancillaries that go along with them. Including PowerPoints, test banks, all kinds of good stuff that goes along with them. One of the problems, though, is that they do come with, and they do advertise these LTI add-ons from partners that are not necessarily free, that they sometimes try to get you to buy. So just be careful about that. And so, you want to go to subjects and then kind of scroll down. OpenStax has a lot of books in the social science and the natural sciences. That's kind of their big thing. Okay, and then the next one is MILN, or used to be BC Campus, or it's OpenStax is now in Canvas Commons, so you can easily import modules into your Canvas shell. Okay, so MILN is, and that's affiliated with OpenSUNY. This is a smaller repository. And the textbooks are authored and peer-reviewed by SUNY faculty and staff. And you'll want to go to the textbook tab and browse by subject. That's probably the easiest thing to do there. And this is what browsing by the subject looks like. And you can see that they don't have a huge number of books for each subject, but they have a few in there, and they're high quality. Okay, and then we have BC Campus, and this one is, oh shoot, hold on, okay, this one is also reviewed by the faculty at BC Campus, and the thing that is kind of special about BC Campus is that they have a higher threshold for accessibility. Their accessibility requirements are higher than the federal guidelines. So if that's something that you're looking for, and they have a these filters that you can use, so you can narrow your search. So you want to select find materials, and then you can use the filters to narrow down your search. And so for this one, I put microbiology in for my search, and then it gave a couple of different sources, and they were both textbooks, and that's how I could filter it down. But sometimes you can filter by, there are different kinds of sources, not just textbooks, like videos or tests or courses, things like that. Okay, for the aggregated repository, so this is where they take, it's a repository where they take all kinds of different sources and they kind of try to put it in one place. So when you're starting to look through these, you might find that you're, especially if you have a smaller discipline, you might find that you're kind of coming across the same textbooks or things that look the same or seem like they have the same title and author. That's because they have, they're using the same sources. Okay, so the first one is that I'm going to show you is Skills Commons, and this one is for workforce training materials for our CTE folks. The best way to navigate through this one is to browse by industry or search a topic. Okay. This one is funded by this career training grant, and it was developed by trade adjustment assistance for community colleges. So you can browse by industry, you can do an advanced search, and that's going to get you a list of your different industries. They have a lot of medical also materials in Skills Commons, as well as your typical CTE materials. Okay, the next one is Cool for Ed. So this is the California Open Online Library, and the best way to search through this one is to look at the course materials showcase, which is on the toolbar across the top on the left-hand side, and then select discipline, and then select CID or course. And so when you select your discipline, then you can choose the CID, and then that's going to give you a number of resources that you can check out. Okay. Okay, and then the next one is Open Oregon. This one is an aggregated library of openly licensed materials, and it is, you can search by course name, by institution, by the instructor information on this one. So you can search by community college, and then you can put the discipline, and then you can just kind of scroll through. And they do have different types of sources, not only textbooks. Okay. Then we've got OER Commons. Um, so OER Commons, the best way to use this one is by using the drop-down menu. And it also has a building platform. But I don't know, I think because we have Canvas as our building platform, I don't know that we necessarily need to use that. But if that's something that you're interested in, they do have that. And so you could put the discipline, and then you could put community college, and then you could put, something more specific topic that you're looking for, and then do a search. And then that's going to give you a number of, so I did a quick search for under mathematics for calculus, and it gave me 174 different results for that. Okay, then we have one that I know a lot of you have heard of, and that is LibreText. So I don't want to talk too much about LibreText. It is it's a repository of OER. It's also a building platform. It's very powerful. It has a lot of functions. You can remix different books together. They do have people that are working on it that can help you. They're having a LibreFest coming up at the end of this month that I believe you can still register for. I have the link here if anyone's interested in that. And the problem with LibreText is that it takes a lot of training to be able to fully use all of the functions of LibreText. It's not a very easy platform to master right away. This LibreFest is focused on their ADAPT homeworking system, which is an interactive homeworking system. I am not an expert in LibreText, but I know at least on our campus, we have a number of faculty who are using LibreText books, and they, it's like once you get over the hump of being able to, figure it out and master it, they seem to really like it. There's a learning curve in using it. So I'll just caution you. Yeah, Catherine?
One brief note with the LibreText thing that's happening next week, it does cost $35.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's not a free thing.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And yeah, and that's not the only one. And that one does, I think, focus on ADAPT, their homeworking system. They do, throughout the year and from time to time have other workshops. And I know that they have at least one or two recorded workshops on the ASCCC OERI website in their archived webinars that you can find and watch if you're interested in just kind of getting a taste of what that's all about. Okay, the next one is Oasis. Okay, so this is a search tool that's goal is to make the discovery of open content easier. It has all kinds of different sources, textbook videos, and modules. You can use keywords related to your course. It's got 114 sources, so it's not huge, huge repository. But you can search by down here by textbook, by courses, by course materials, simulations, and you can do an advanced search and limit your search, and you can check that out, see if there's anything for your discipline. Okay, and then we get to the Google Advanced Search. And I'm not going to put the website for Google in. I think everybody probably can find that. But to do a advanced search, it's usually on the very bottom of your screen on the right-hand side, and it's under Settings or Tools. And then you select, you go down, sometimes you have to click a More button to open up More, and you want to select Usage Rights. And then for the most open, you would select Free to Use, Share or Modify, and even commercially, and that's the most open choice. And then for best results, add lots of limiters. So it looks something like this. This one has it at the top. Mine had it at the bottom, so it probably depends on your maybe your computer or your version. So yeah, so it looks something like this. You get lots of choices here for the license, and then you'll get hundreds of thousands of hits. So you want to try to narrow your search as much as possible, to try not to drive yourself crazy on the Google Advanced Search. My discipline is linguistics, and there are not many openly licensed materials, but this has been the one that I've had the most luck with, is finding OER sources on Google Advanced Search, just FYI. Okay, and then zero cost books. Oh, okay, Linda, you ready?
Yeah. Hi,
Okay.
everybody. So I'm just going to give a quick overview on searching for zero cost materials through the library. My examples are from Fresno City College, but most of the colleges subscribe to the same materials or similar materials. And the primary thing that I'm going to point out is finding materials in our OneSearch catalog, which we all have on our respective library pages. Some of the materials available to us, specifically at Fresno City College, is in a collection called O'Reilly, and it has a lot of technical um, uh, books. It also has learning paths, so students can watch videos and track their progress. They do need to create an account, but once they do that, everything is freely available to them, and you can link to these materials or just specific chapters within them or videos within the learning paths. And then I believe we all have EBSCO ebooks as well as ProQuest ebooks, and we primarily subscribe to the bundles that are created for community college from community colleges, but we do have the ability to purchase single titles if the publisher has made them available for library acquisition. So I would just recommend, if you're looking for a specific title, or maybe you found a chapter in a book that the library doesn't currently have, just reach out to your library to see if it's possible to purchase that that material. For things like commercial textbooks through the primary publishers like McGraw-Hill and Pearson, it might be it might be more difficult to purchase those kinds of materials. They just don't make them available the way they do regular monographs, but definitely reach out to the library to see if it's possible for us to do single title purchases for some of these materials. Can you go to the next slide? Thank you. So on the Fresno City College's website, we have a link to our OneSearch catalog, and ours says books, but I always say it's a little bit of a misnomer because you can find quite a bit more materials in there, different formats in addition to books. And the one thing is, actually going off of that Google slide that's saying use lots of limiters. That's the way to get your best results. That's what we recommend when searching our OneSearch catalog. And on all of our library websites, we all call it OneSearch. That's the branding. So if you look for that OneSearch button or link, you'll get access to our online catalog. Next slide, please. So this is just a screenshot of what a search looks like for a general nutrition. You can get more specific by adding in those keywords, depending on, what you're trying to supplement, or what chapter you want to use to supplement your OER. You can see that I've highlighted some of the limiters, and also right below on the left-hand side where it says availability, we do also catalog and include open access or Creative Commons materials in our online catalog. So if you are looking for something that is completely open, that does have a Creative Commons license, you can check that open access box to find that material. I always recommend just double checking the license on the material itself, but for the most part, you can use our catalog to search for some of those open access articles, and even limit to book chapters or reference materials, and videos as well. So again, this is helpful to supplement any OER that you might be using that doesn't quite cover everything that you are looking for. Okay, I think that's my library spiel.
Okay, that's it? All right.
Yeah, I think so,
Okay.
unless anyone has questions.
Okay. Yeah. So then just the very last thing that we have for you, and I'm not going to put all of these in the chat right now because I'll give them to you in just a second, is with the whole document are these open media collections. So these are um, some great websites to use if you're looking for images. Okay, so if you are, building a textbook, or you're trying to, decorate your Canvas pages, or, you just want some openly licensed pictures, you want to do it legally, you can use any of these websites, and you can use the Open Attribution Builder to grab the attribution, or a lot of times the attribution will just be right there next to the picture, and you can just copy and paste that and stick it on there, and boom, you're done. So yeah, they're all right here. These are some great sources to use for that. And so, yeah, so we got done, and I know I was going so fast through all of those. I know that you probably didn't get a chance to search too much, but what I'm going to do is put this document for you in. It's just a Word document. I'm going to put it into the chat. So you should be able to open it up, and it has the links to all the links that we talked about today. So you have all of them, and yeah, they're right there. And yes, yes. So what I'll do is on the slides, I definitely can do that, but I wanted to make it a PowerPoint. I think it's a little easier to share that way. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question for Lydia, if possible. So with the Fresno City College library and that searching through different stuff, if I find a textbook and it says the full text is available online through the ebook central, is that something that I could then assign my students and they would have access to that textbook?
Yes. So yeah, and most of our licenses are unlimited user, so it wouldn't matter how many of them needed to access it at the same time. The thing that I would recommend is linking to it. There are copyright limits on downloading the entire book or several chapters and uploading them to your Canvas shell. So the safe way to share that is to link to it. But yes, you can absolutely share that with your students and use it as required reading.
Okay, thank you.
Sally and Linda, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Is there a way to find other faculty, at least so I teach in business, that are using OER context already? That way we can connect with them and just kind of like pick their brains as well.
Yeah, so that's a really good, important question. So if you mean and I don't know who was talking. Edgar, is that you talking?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that was me.
So what college are you from?
Clovis?
Clovis, okay. So are you full-time or part-time?
Full time.
Okay. And so I don't know, do you uh and you teach business, what kind of business? Is it like accounting or
No, it's just like a introduction to business
okay,
communication, business
okay,
law.
okay. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with your discipline. So I am going to connect you with one of our faculty at Fresno City College who is on our OER work group. She's her name's Lydia Anderson. Do you know her?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. She is a great person to know. She's not only into OER, but she's just like a great person. And she will, I'm sure she'll be happy to talk to you and let you pick her brain about it. And they are not doing ZTC, but they have done some work with LTC, with low textbook costs materials. So yeah, so I'm sure she'd be happy to explain, what all that they are doing over here. And that's probably where you want to start is just kind of, yeah, reaching out to other faculty. Another thing that you can do is look at the, if you want to go wider than our district, is look at the OERI website, and you can look at the, I'm going to find the page for you. The discipline leads website. Let me see if I can find it. A second. And let's see. Here we go. So yeah, so open up that first little, I guess it's the first little accordion thing where it says discipline leads, and then you can see for business, the discipline lead is an instructor from West Los Angeles, and they give their contact information. This is a paid position. I probably have a pop-up blocker that's blocking. This person's, so the discipline leads are they get a stipend to basically support faculty who are just right in your situation. You know, they want to connect with other faculty. They want ideas about how to implement OER in their discipline, and they just need support. So you can definitely, you know, reach out to them, email them, and that's, you know, that's their job.
Thank you, Sally.
Anybody else have anything? Yeah, actually, the whole entire OERI website is pure gold. I really encourage everyone to search around there. It is full of just excellent stuff. Okay, well, if there are no more questions, I think we can probably call it. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I hope that that everyone was able to find at least one thing that they can use. Okay, everybody, thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you to our interpreter, Garrett, for helping make this accessible.
Yes, thank you, Garrett. Good job.